Hello and welcome to Hixxy Studio. In this video I'm going to show you how to make this lovely spring daffodil card using the Gemini March daffodil set. It's from the monthly flowers that they have, a flower for each month, and this one is perfect for where we are now with all the daffodils out in the gardens. There are two parts to this. You get a set of stamps. You have the large daffodil, little bud and leaf. You've got this little element here, which is a tiny little daffodil, and then some sentiments. The sending smiles and the spring is sprung both fit in this little frame here. Then you've got Hello Sunshine, March and Daffodil, which are all the same font. And then you get this lovely little Wordsworth quote here. Then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. Now there will be total of three videos on our channel using this, but in different ways. So in this one, we are going to use a bit of masking, and we are going to use the gold Faber Aqua pencils from Faber Castell to colour this in. If you, I've done one of the other videos will have distress oxides, and the other one will have pearlescent watercolouring. So it's sort of three different ways of colouring these in. For this particular one, the other part I've not shown you, it comes with a set of dies. Now these dies will cut out the daffodil, the leaf, the bud, this little element, and then the hanging part here. So, but for this card, we are not going to be using any of the dies. We are going to use this main daffodil one, which is already on my stamping platform, which is why it's not on here. And then we're going to use the little frame here. Well, in fact, we will use the die to cut that out. And the spring has sprung die. So let's start with the actual card. We're going to do a masking technique. So it's the same stamp, stamped 3 times using using maskets. Words just couldn't come then. So this is using a sheet called Masket from Woodware, and you stamp onto it and then you cut it out. Now mine looks really messy, and that's because it's been stamped over, and that's its job. Its job is to stop when you stamp other ones here. It's going to stop the thing from going over. So let's have a go. Let's grab my piece of stamping card. Bear with me. I seem to have lost my piece of stamping card. No, there it is. There it is. So we're going to do it in the stamp press. I've got some Tim Holtz one, and the reason being is I found with this stamp that there are certain areas I've really got to give some welly to, and I did it so many times when I didn't quite give it enough pressure. So I went back to the stamp press, because then I can keep going over it as I need to. You can still use masking in here. It's going to make absolutely no difference. Oh, I've got 2 of my magnets together now, which is never a good thing. Okay, so I'm going to start with the central daffodil, so that is the one that is at the front. So when you use masking like this, you need to make sure that whatever you want at the front is the first thing you stamp, and then you cover that over, and whatever you stamp then sort of fits in behind. So, no wonder that wasn't stuck. I'll grab a piece of acetate underneath. Right, so the other thing, I played around with the sort of positioning of it, and I found that if I set it up like that, this third one didn't go in so well. So I kind of have put it more so that the leaf is going off to the side, and I'm going to just press that down, and then we're going to ink that with our versafine. I'm hoping I haven't got too much ink there. I'm not gonna, I have got another one already printed out just in case, because I know I'm pretty heavy-handed with the ink when I'm doing this kind of stuff. Let's see how I'm doing. Yeah, I'm not pressing enough on there. It is one, and I do apologise, and I will do this several times. One that you kind of got to go over the top. So I'm sorry to the overhead camera, but I am just going over the top. And we've got our image there. Okay. So now what I need to do is I need to put my mask over the top. All right. So I've mine's looking a little bit dogged because I've done this quite a few times now, trying to work out the positioning and such. So trying to make sure I'm getting all in the right place, which I'm not. Right, that looks better. There we go. So that is now masking or covering that first image. Now I do have a bit of ink on there, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rub a little bit of it off, because when I come to put this down, it's going to obviously start to mark, and what I don't want to do is to put it down and then it move and we get a funny kind of image, but we'll go for it. Okay, so my second daffodil, that's what I mean, is going to come kind of here. I'm just having a look to see. Doesn't have to be exactly like I had it before, so I'm not too worried. I'm going to put that there and press that down. Okay, and then we'll ink this up. And make sure these bits are stuck down. And we're going to go over, and I'm going to just stand up anyway because I know it needs it. That way I'm not going to. There are some stamps that you just have got to give it that bit of welly. See? Oh, I'm missing a little bit in there. That might be because it's on the edge of the masking thing, so I might not want to. We'll go with that. You see, it's just missing a little bit there. But as I'm not, this isn't the main one, I've got another one done. So you can see now that that one is behind, and I shouldn't have taken the mask off because I need to do it again. But you can see it's now behind. Let's put this back on. And we're going to do our third daffodil out to the right. There we go. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of wiggling. So again, I'm going to do the same. I'm just going to take off some of that extra ink that was not transferred. And we're going to move our daffodil over here, like so. And then back up. I'm going to bring it around this way this time, so the daffodil is nearest to me. We're going to give it a good ink. And just make sure those bits are stuck down. And then up and over it. So I do apologise for the overhead shot of my head. All there. There we go. Just needs that little bit of welly, this stamp, which I didn't give it there. But you can see the whole thing will stamp. Just needs a little bit of welly on it. So there are our 3 daffodils. So you can see that. Just put my little bit of paper in so it doesn't get ink all over my platform. You've got, this is behind this one, and this leaves of this one's behind this one. So excellent. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just show you on this one, this one's stamped the nicest, where I would put the colours from the pencils, and then I have one where I have put it all over, and we'll actually put the water on that one. So you get 12 pencils in this tin, a nice range. So I'm using the orange and the yellow, and I'm using the 2 greens. So those are the 4 I'm using for my daffodil. So for the actual daffodil, on the petals, I'm putting the colour pretty much just where the marks are, these little hash lines, because that's where the colour will be darkest. So that's where I want to actually put the colour. And I'm also going to put a little bit there to show that this bit of the petal is under this bit. So same here, just colour onto the bits that are kind of hashed like so, like this. Don't need to colour the whole thing, because when we put the water on, it will just spread the colour out. So that's how I would apply the colour to the petal. For the trumpet, again, take the orange and go over where the hash lines are. Okay, particularly here, because this is the bit that is inside and will be the darkest. Yeah, so that's where I would put the pencil for the trumpet. And then for the leaves, I've got the dark. There's two. There's a darker and a lighter. I hope you can see that. So take the darker and go over where the lines are on the leaves. And you would do this for all of them, and I'll show you in a minute. I've got it already like that for all of them. So on all the leaves, just go over the lines with the dark, and then I'm not colouring it in. I'm just adding a little bit of colour in between with the light. Okay, so I'll grab the one that I've already got with all my bits of pencil, so you can see it's exactly what I have done on that one. I've got ready on all 3 there, and then all we need is water. Now I'm going to put my pencils away so that they don't fall on the floor and get broken. So those are away, and I'm just bringing in my my water. It isn't clean water, I do apologise, but it is fairly yellowy because I've been doing other daffodil-y things. So literally I'm going to just take a wet brush, and what happens then is you just move the colour. What I would say is, if you want to, and I might want to in a minute, if you want to go back in and add more colour in somewhere, don't do it while it's wet. Now you see I've gone into where the orange is. Don't do it while it's wet, because as you can see, the colour from the pencil moves really well with the water, and that's what will happen to the lead of your pencil. It will just start to go all nice and wet and move around. So give it time to dry, or blast dry it, which is what I might do in a minute. So you've kind of done the work by putting the colour where you want the darker shade to be, before you even add the water. The rest is literally just add water and get the colour to move. I'm adding a little bit too much there. It's really quite straightforward. Now I'm doing all one colour at a time so that I don't have to keep cleaning my brush. So I'm doing all the yellow to begin with. More water. And I mean, I'm already seeing that I'd probably want to go back in with some yellow in some of these petals to give it a little bit more vibrancy. So there's our leaves, our petals. So I'm going to do the trumpets now, and again, don't have too much water on your brush, otherwise it will just go to a little bit acetate. Seems to want to get everywhere. Otherwise, it will just become one tone. You'll just mix it all in, kind of try and bring the colour in like so, and then you get a little bit more shading. And then just bring the colour, push the colour out into those little ruffly bits like so. So do that again. Not too much water, just bring the colour down and then bring the colour up. Don't sort of scrub up and down, otherwise it all ends up the same colour. Same here, bring that colour down and that one up. And then you get that difference between the dark and the light. And then push that colour into all those ruffly bits. If you just sort of turn it round, because obviously the point of your brush is the longest bit and it will go into those sort of ruffly bits a lot easier. And then the last one. So these gold Faber pencils, you can get a pack of 24 if you want more colours. So there are kind of more options in there. Just depends what you're after. Okay, and then the leaves. With the leaves, literally, because I've got two colours on, I am just literally going over the top. And the colours will blend and sort themselves out into the light and dark sort of shady bits. No need to sort of worry about which way you're going with these. Just sort of get in there and move the colour around. I say sort of go whichever way. It would still go up and down pretty much. When you're painting things, you kind of want to go, you want to paint in the direction of the object. So this is a long sort of thing, so you want to go up and down in that way. So you can see we're having the two different greens. It just means I don't have to sort of think about going back in, maybe adding a little bit more definition, because two greens kind of do that. I'm quite happy with that. I think we'll go with that. I'll move the water out the way. I'm going to give it a little bit of a blast just to dry it off. Now, I've got a very large oval die that I'm going to cut this out with. Now, you don't have to. You could just, if you don't have an oval die like I have, so you could just leave it as a rectangle, cut it kind of like that. I just kind of like the idea. I'm into my ovals at the moment. So I'm going to use my oval die and position that to cut it out. Slight angle that we're going to go. I'm hoping that's wide enough. Let's take that down, and I'm just going to check. Oh, just. Right, so let's grab my bits of acetate just floating around today. Okay, so this is going to go through, and then I'm going to get the green inks back. Sorry, the green pencil back to create. Sorry, I'm pointing at something that's completely out of your view. It's like, you can't even see it. Just grab this and then I'll explain what I'm talking about. I'm going to get the pencils back out just to do a little bit of the sort of bottom to ground the daffodils, so they don't look like they're sort of hanging in midair. Now you see, now where it's was very close to the edge. I must have been very close to the edge of the cutting machine. So I am going to run that back through. Sometimes, and all machines are different, all, you know, even within a brand, if you have sometimes these things too close to the edge or the top, they go, nah, not having that. So I'm just going to run that through again, and I'm going to grab my pencils back out. So I want my two greens for the bottom, and then I've got some distress inks to do the edge with, because you can't quite get that sort of same effect with the pencils. So there you go. See, It's cut. It's cut. Right. Covered in tape. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my my darker pencil and kind of draw. I'm going to go this way. It's hard to see which way. Let's make sure I've got this the right way. Kind of roughly like this. Doesn't need to be straight. All I want to do is to give this a bit of a grounding, so that it looks like these daffodils are growing out of something, as opposed to, just hanging in the air. So I'm colouring in a little bit, and then I'm just going to get the water on that again to blend it so we get a nice little. There we go. Excellent, that's that. Put the pencils back in the tin. If you have, it's always a good idea, personally, I find, to keep your pencils in the tins when you get them. I've got quite a few sets in tins. It helps to keep them safe. If you drop them, they're not going to be damaged so much. So yeah, just keep them in the tin. So just want to blast that before I try and put the distressing over the top. And the colours I've got for going around the edge are ripe persimmon and fossilized amber. I'm going to grab my ink mat and my inks and my brushes. So I'm going to start with the fossilized amber, and I just want to, rather than it being like a stark white at the edge, I just want a bit of colour. So we're going to go in and make a nice kind of soft edge with the fossilized amber, and then the orange will produce sort of a darker, brighter, if you like, very sort of outer edge to this. Go all the way around. That's the fossilized amber, and then our ripe, which is a very, very bright orange. I'm just making sure I'm not gonna go in too hard with this. So with this, I'm not kind of going round and round. I'm just trying to bring the orange onto the very edge. Oh, that's better. To give it that kind of outer, almost like a matte layer, not really quite, but it gives that kind of effect of that sort of different edge, colour edge that you get with matting and layering. All the way around. Okie dokie. And we'll just clean the mat with a bit of rice paper, which already has lots and lots of yellow and orange on it. Out the way, and then we should be ready. Oh, we've got to stamp a sentiment, haven't we? That's the bit we've got to do, because we need to die cut that. I'll show you that die. So there's the bits for that. Oh, and across like that. Right, so what we need to do now is the sentiment. So we need this. So we're going to stamp this first. And then we're going to need the die for it as well. We'll grab the die out. They're all ready. So, that's bit's cleanest. Ink. Right. There's our little frame. And I'm just going to give that a little blast with the heat gun before I stamp over it. in the vain effort to hopefully not put my fingers in it and smudge it too much. Good. And then we're going to stamp the Spring Has Sprung. Spring Has Sprung. That's it. I'm going to stamp that in the middle. So Spring Has Sprung and the other one of Sending Smiles both fit into this little frame. Like so. And we'll give that a blast as well before I stick that through the die cutter. I'm doing that because I'm very aware that I've not got the lid on my ink and that I can quite quickly stick my my arm down in that. Okay, and I am going to use the pencils. Where are the pencils? There are the pencils. Just to add a little bit of colour. The orange one, I'm just going to put a little bit of colour in the orange. Get a bit of water in on this in a minute, and then I'm going to use the dark green for the little frame. Let's get a little bit of water. There's the frame, just rinse that off, and then just move the orange. I need a little bit more water to move the orange. There we go. And when I've die cut it, I will use the fossilized amber just to give it a yellower edge. So another quick blast with the heat gun on this. And then we're going to use the little die to cut this out. So grab my thing. Now these are dies that will leave the white edge, which is why I'm going to ink this one. But they're because of that, they're quite easy to place around your stamped image because you can sort of see the stamped line just inside of the die. Okay. Such a big thing to run for just one little thing. If you do have Gemini Junior plates, then you know that's the way to go for those kind of things because they're smaller and they just fit through sideways. Right, so I said I was going to get my fossilized amber, and I'm not even going to bother with more ink. I am literally just, you can see there is enough ink. I do it in my hand. There is enough ink on there to give me that bit of a yellow around the edge. So we've got our yellow, orange and green going on again. So it's a case of assembling now, and I've gone some really, really bright colours for this. Just sort of a real sort of blast of spring brightness with the orange base card. That really, this card is just lovely, that yellow, a real daffodil yellow, and then some really funky green paper from the depths of my stash. And then we've got our image. It's going to sit on there. Like so. I'm going to just grab a piece of paper because I want to really press that down, but without ruining the ink or anything with my mucky hands. Okay, and our little sentiment down here. Now, it's the sort of thing you could kind of put a little bit of ribbon on to make it look like it's hanging. Probably do quite a few little things with that. And then to finish off, just to make it look pretty, I've got some little little flat back pearls there. I'm going to get my thin applicator. Make sure it's working. Yep. And we're just going to do 3 around there. And 3 around there. Put back on. And there's my little applicator. Ooh, come on, there you go. And then so we're just going to put our little pearls there. Kind of add to the framing of our lovely daffodils. So we have created this card using our lovely March daffodil set from Crafter's Companion from the Gemini range, which comes with this really versatile stamp set and the dies as well. So on our channel there are 3 cards that I've made using this, so have a look, because I've used various aspects in various different ways, just to show you how it isn't just one thing that you can do with this. Thank you for joining me.